цвету, радуйся, невесту, невестная, честнейшая владычица всех небесных войн, радуйся, невесту, невестная.
Laku noć. Laku noć. That was Orthodox trap music. That's what I'm doing with my Saturday night tonight. Welcome, welcome. I'm Joseph the Wing Bro coming to you live from Belgrade, Saturday Night Live. Hey, we're here, we're going to discuss the topic of girlfriends today. Because I've got work tomorrow, it's Saturday, and I can't be arsed to go out, basically. Can't be bothered. Only thing really there is going on tonight I can see is this like live music at the Hilton, which looks alright, but I can't be bothered actually. Just cannot be bothered. One of the things in the Balkans is everyone is just like chaining, just smoking everywhere. I was like, I want to go to the gym tomorrow morning. I can't be staying in this smoky environment tonight. So I thought, let's come back in, let's do a live. It's always good practice, and it's always good content. Good chance for me to practice my delivery and to think about these important concepts. So we're going to discuss what to look for in a woman, what to look for in a woman, what to look for in a girlfriend. Obviously, it's going to vary from guy to guy, but I do think people can sometimes have like extraordinarily unrealistic expectations, borderline fantasist expectations, especially men, about what they should expect from a girlfriend, about what they need from a girlfriend, about whether they're even ready to have a girlfriend. My brothers, this is a relationship channel, and we're talking here about what to actually look for in a woman, what to look for in a woman, what to look for in a potential girlfriend. Bloodhound, make sure she doesn't have an Adam's apple. That's a good point. That's a very good point. It will obviously vary from man to man to some extent. It's going to vary a little bit from man to man, but I'm going to give you my angle. So, yeah, what do I look for in a woman? And as I develop things, you'll see why I prefer women from certain countries. So, essentially, if it's going to be anything beyond like a couple of bangs, maybe 2-3 bangs, there's a lot of criteria behind that. Okay, when you're younger, it's just basically sex, isn't it? Like, what do I want? A girl who gives me sex. That's pretty much it. But actually, that's kind of peasant level. That's pretty much peasant level, chimpanzee level, really. Just like, come on, we need to move beyond that. So what do you actually want in your woman? And actually, it's a lot. There's a lot to this. So I'm going to give you my angle on it. So fundamentally, I've got a very well curated life, a crafted life that I have crafted and crafted and crafted over the years. So now I have a remote business, which I created from nothing to create a remote service, which I then eventually charge for. So I have a remote service and a remote business that I travel around the world with. That's nothing to do with Wingbro, by the way. Wingbro is a separate project. So I've got this international life. I speak 4 languages, going on 5. I have a lot of hobbies: dance, training, shooting. So those are my hobbies. And I have a good social life as well. So this is a curated life, right? So I have crafted my life to my specifications. I wasn't a drifter who said, oh, if I just meet the right girl. No, I was not one of those drifters. I wanted what I wanted and I went for it. Okay, and crafted this life. So now that I've crafted that life, I have created this ship, yeah, on which I am the captain. What I need is a first mate. I need a girl to come on board and do her job. Do her job. This is your job, do this. Right? You get to sail the seven seas. You get to do all this exciting stuff on my ship that I've created. And you get to be with me as well, looking out for you, making sure you're good. But you've got a certain job to do. And it's my ship, I direct it, basically. So, yeah, basically, I'm not one of those people who says, oh, you should communicate and compromise and all that type of stuff. That may be correct or not correct. I don't know. It's not my model. My model is I don't compromise. It's my way. And it's not even my way or the highway. It's just my way, or there's nothing. So that's my approach. And for good reason, I think, in the sense that I've likely put more effort into my life than the girl will have put into hers. So why on earth would I compromise something that I put so much effort into to kind of get on board with something that someone else hasn't even put that much effort into? Anyway, and even if she had, why do I care about her effort? Okay, I don't. I care about my effort. So that's my approach. That's my philosophy with it. And if the girl likes my plans, if she shares them, if she can get involved with them, if she can get on board with them, and we're compatible physically, we're compatible sexually, we're compatible in terms of personality, then we can move forward. And I'd say it's only in recent years that I've got closer and closer to my prototype of the right woman. And I have lost women along the way who were not compatible with my life. And do I regret this? I've lost even maybe one woman that I actually loved. Yeah, probably one woman that I actually loved because she wasn't compatible with my life. Do I regret this? Nay, I do not regret this at all. I don't regret this at all because I can always. It's not that women are disposable, because they're not, especially a good woman that you're in love with. But I can't just recreate my life. Like, this life it's a unique opportunity. Yeah, I cannot let anything get away in the way of my missions, my Herculean missions. I have so many to do. She has to support them. She has to be an asset. I cannot let someone get in the way of those things. So I don't regret leaving women who are not compatible with my life at all. At all. Even if there's a couple of cases where one case in particular is genuinely painful. But, well, I mean, she had the option, to be honest. She had the option. She was on the ship. I gave her the prime place on the ship. She didn't want to cooperate. It's okay. We're gonna have to get off the ship, you know. So my life is my number one priority. My life is my number one priority, and Flores, it's not bullshit, mate. It's not bullshit. I mean, obviously tolerating bullshit. I don't tolerate any bullshit at all. I can't even imagine tolerating bullshit. It's not even that. It's way beyond tolerating bullshit. It's, are you completely bespoke for my life? And if the answer's no, it's not going to work, is it? So let's go our separate ways. I don't need a woman. I don't need one. I don't need you to kiss and cuddle. I don't need you to be reassuring. I don't need this fucking feminine support, all this bullshit that people talk about. I don't need any of that. I don't need it. Yeah? You don't need a woman to support you, right? You don't. But if I've got a shipmate who can come on board, and that's a bonus and that's an extra, amazing. Now, where does this, what does this actually look like? So for me, there's certain physical specification. She's got to be basically a certain profile physically. The physical is actually probably the least important, actually. The physical has to be, the box has to be ticked. You can't get with an ugly chick, right? You got to tick that box. But actually, Um, I don't know if this is a theory, but it depends on the culture, it depends on when the girl's from. But some of these some very attractive chicks, they're either very demanding in some cases, or they're just very into their own life, which is often a very tedious life, or they can just be kind of like very, very homely type of girls. You know, some of these curvaceous girls, they kind of look like they're just fucking there to make babies and stuff like that. Or just maybe very conservative. Cool girls, great girls, but it's not going to work for my life. So, you know, it'll be like maybe just a few dates or a couple dates or even one date. And I realize sometimes now it's even after the approach, I go, nah, there's no point. There's no point. She could be so hot, but I go, nah, there's no point pursuing her because she's not going to be a value add. 39, I don't have the time. I don't have the time. So physically, yeah, she's got to tick the box. Then the sex has got to be good. The sex has got to be good. Like, that's very important. Let me just go into a little side on sex. Sex is very, very important in your relationship. You need a girl who you can give her an absolute railing and she loves it, and, you know, she comes really hard, whatever. You feel like you're very good in bed. You know, hopefully you are good in bed. You don't want a girl who's got like sexual problems and stuff like that, who can't come and stuff like this. Because over time, what that will do, that will fuck with you over time. I've had that once in the past where there's a girl, it genuinely was her issue. And I knew it was her issue. Even though I was seeing like a couple of other girls, but anyway, I got involved with this one girl. She had a sexual issue. And over time, that starts to degrade your sexual confidence. Not initially, because you're like, yes, this is not my issue. But over time, it does. After like a year, you know, with someone, you're kind of like racking your brains. You're like, man, I must be actually shit in bed. Like, there's nothing I can actually do with this girl. And then, yeah, actually, I remember that particular girl. She had some problems, and it wasn't her fault either. But I'm like, okay, that over time that degraded my confidence. And I remember the next time, that literally the next girl I shagged, I had some time out, and the next girl I shagged was a Brazilian girl in the elevator room of a fucking Portuguese apartment block, and it was like a scene from The Exorcist. This girl was like fucking, it was crazy. The sex was fucking demented. I felt like a virgin. I was 35. I felt like a fucking virgin. And that was so good for me because it like, I lived off that for like, I swear to God, I got with other girls after that, but that kickstarted me. I lived off that one episode for like 6 months, like in my head, even though I got with other girls, because it kickstarted my sexual prowess again. That I knew it was there, but you kind of lose it with someone who, yeah, you basically, nobody could really satisfy because she's got problems, right? So you want the sex to be fucking good. You want the sex to be explosive. It's very important. It's very, very important. So don't underestimate that. It's just good for you. It's good for your health. RJ, I'll get to your questions in a minute, mate. I'm going to go through the whole thing first, and then I'll get to questions and comments. But thanks for joining, mate. Thanks for joining. So yeah, so that was a side on sex. What I would say as well is recruitment is 95% of this. Recruitment is 95% of this. So your physical compatibility, your sexual, your psychological, your intellectual, other things I'm going to come on to. Recruitment's 95%. If you're recruiting for a pool of 2 girls, you're not going to find it. Your recruitment is 95%. You need to be battering the approaches. I think to get a good girlfriend, you probably need to have got about 80 odd numbers or something like that, and then maybe gone on about 10 dates. And I think within that, you probably get a good girlfriend in terms of numerically. It's not just going to be the first one who falls into your lap, or it could be, but it's unlikely. It's unlikely. So recruitment's 95%. You're much better just cutting it. With a girl who's just causing problems, or she's quite demanding, or she's irritating, just cut it. Just cut it. Just move on. Recruitment is what it's all about. It's the same like for a business, you know, like you can have a shit employee and you can try and work with them and all this type of thing, or an average one, or you can just get someone who's the absolute business. As soon as they walk through the door, they're fucking amazing. The chemistry is amazing and it all works, and they're an amazing asset to your business. It's exactly the same with a girl. So recruit, and it's like, well, why waste your time? And it's actually even more important with your personal life. There is a point here, which is depending on your propensity to get emotionally attached to a woman, you might even want to hold out on sex. If you get very emotionally attached after sex, and some men do, if that's you, that's fine. You might want to hold out on the sex and really analyze the woman. Look at her with a tone of skepticism. Why should I bring you into my circle? Why should I bring you into my life? But like friendly and relaxed and chill. But that should be on your mind. You should be the one who's hesitant. Yeah? You should be the one who's hesitant. Like, you're moving forward, but you're also thinking, do I want to bring this one in? And if the answer is yes, it's like, okay, great, because she's now passed through the filters. So yeah, recruitment is superlative. And with the right woman, you actually don't need to compromise. With the right woman, there are no compromises. People say relationships are about compromises. No, that's not true at all. Yeah, the end of the Russo-Ukrainian war is a compromise, which means everyone's going to come away somewhat unhappy. Yeah, compromise just means everyone is unhappy. It's bullshit. Yeah, what you want, because it's your fucking personal life. Yeah, it's your one and only, like, it's your life. Don't compromise on it. Yeah, you're better off alone. Don't compromise. With the right girl, you don't need any compromise, because it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. So yeah, for me, her characteristics, there is a blend of body, emotion, and brains. Body and emotion and brains. That's the blend that I like. The blend that I like. Body, emotion, and brains. Hyper intellectual girls, I've often found, Nietzsche pointed this out, I've actually often found this. Hyper intellectual girls are singularly deficient in terms of their actual physical body. They often tend to be really skinny with no curves or anything. It's like all the energy went into their brains. It's really fucking weird. I've noticed that a lot over the years. So yeah, like hyper intellectual girls, like academics and stuff. Well, it's quite rare that they're super hot, like genuinely. Anyway, that's I can get sucked in because I like a good conversation, but no. But similarly, a girl who's just the body, it's kind of boring, innit? You need that blend. And also soul as well, her soul as well. She needs to be highly sexed. She needs to have a high sex drive. Yep. She's a high. I mean, I can't imagine being with a girl with a low sex drive. What the fuck is the point in that? The girls I get with, they can't imagine, like, the idea of like women who hold out on their husbands and stuff like that. They're like, why would I forego sex just because I was pissed off with them? It doesn't make any sense. What's the point of having a husband if I'm not gonna fuck? So that's the type of girl that I like to get with. Yeah. So she needs to be highly sexed. I don't like slow, boring girls. Slow and boring and slow, pedestrian. They irritate me. I just can't be bothered with them. I like fast, exciting girls, or girls who like to be taken on a ride, like a bit of stimulation. I think that's maybe one reason why I'm not quite vibing with the Slavics. They're kind of fucking slow, and fucking boring. Latinas are good for me in this sense. Quite a few black girls as well. I like African girls as well. Vibrant type of personality. That's what I like. A kind of cool sidekick / assistant kind of mentality. It's important to have shared values for me. Like a woke girl or something like that. Like, by all means, banger maybe. But like some kind of liberal libtard girl, I'm not interested. I've got no fucking interest. Go shag some weak loser. I'm not interested. Like, yeah, maybe bang a girl like that, but I can't be bothered to have a consistent disagreement with a girl over like the fundamental aspects. I know they say that women are more liberal as whatever, but there's loads of more conservative women. Like, yeah. So it's interesting. They also say though that women, once they've had children, become more conservative because those instincts towards caring for society and the needy and all this shit, they go into their children instead of being misdirected into bullshit. But anyway, yeah. So I like conservative girls. Basically, libtards can go fuck themselves. To be honest, I think now I couldn't even stand to go on and really. So like, there was a girl I went out with last year who was Colombian, and she would be considered just straight down the line in the UK or Europe. Probably in Latin America, she was a little bit more towards liberal. And even she was like, I think you're too conservative for me. And I was like, yeah, maybe. To be honest, maybe I am. Whatever. That's fine. That's fine with me. Um, yeah. And that's actually a plus for the Balkan girls. They are more conservative, so that's a plus. So on that end, they're good for me. But there's Latinas who just tick all the boxes. But yeah, like, whoa, fucking know-it-all idiots I can't be bothered with. There's one girl I approached last year. She was like an English grad in the UK, and she gave me a reading list, bless her, and I was like, I don't want to fucking rain on your parade, but I've read half of those books already. You know, like, I am a fairly scholarly man, and I'm like nearly twice your age, like, and this stuff is absolutely fucking retarded. But she thought she was being nice. She was fucking 21. And then other things like girls with tattoos, stuff like that. It's not really my thing in terms of having a girlfriend, so I'm not looking to date Tupac. I know some guys like tattoos. I've got with a few girls with tats, but it's not really my thing. Um, what else do I have? Smoking as well. No. So a lot of these things, they are negative things. Like, I just want a girl who doesn't smoke, doesn't have tats, and is conservative. Yeah, there's plenty. By the way, there are hundreds of millions of girls like this in the world. It's not a trad wife, by the way. It's nothing to do with that. There's lots of right-wing girls who are not trad. Or maybe not even right-wing, just normal. And then, yeah, just a kind of natural vibe. Lastly, age. Yep, I'm 39. I feel like I'm in my prime, so I'm going for women in their prime, which is in their 20s. I'm not going for a 39-year-old woman. That's actually hilarious. I'm not going for that. And peaceful as well. And can you find all these things? Can you find all this specification? Yes, you can. There's millions of girls like this, literally millions. And I only need one. I just need one. Yeah. So all of these things are in my favor. And I may have the girl already. There's a girl I'm still in communication with from last year. She essentially ticks all the boxes. I'm not 100% on a couple of things, but like everything essential is there. There's a couple of things, but it's none of it's like personality-wise. Everything is good, to be honest with you. Everything is good. It's more just like, am I willing to? Would I be willing to, like? Would I be willing to move to her country on a permanent basis? Things of that nature. You know, would I be willing to forego pursuing other women, that type of thing? You know, but these are normal questions to have, right? So all that stuff, that's my those are my characteristics. Other things you want to look out for: what's her relationship to her father? Very important. Was she spoiled? That's a nightmare, by the way. If a girl was spoiled by her dad, just bang her and fuck her off. Just bang her and just fuck her off. They're the worst type of girl imaginable. Those girls, they're the worst type imaginable. Yeah, you can you can princess them for a few weeks or something, but I know how to get those girls. You do kind of princess them and it's fun and stuff, but then it's too much hard work, to be honest. So I sack those off. Girls with very high expectations very early on in the relationship who make demands, I mean, get to fuck, basically, no. Bye. Girls who try and make plans on your behalf without asking you, goodbye. Yeah, just girls who make demands of you, basically. Trying to take some kind of possessive masculine role, get to fuck, goodbye. Bye. Negative. Girls who ask for money early on, again, that should be fucking obvious, but like, bye. So yeah, there's lots of filters, and it should be that way. It should be that way. You should not let someone who is not appropriate into your life. Yeah. And so by passing through all these filters, the girl's got to be fucking good. She's got to be good. And I've got to pass through her filters as well, and that's normal, right? That's normal. I'm just elucidating some of mine. And there's always that magic vibe as well. There's that magic vibe as well between two people. We can't overlook that. This is not a top trumps game. Is there anything else? Yeah, for me, like I probably don't want like a hyper extroverted girl, but I also don't want a hyper introverted girl. I want a girl who's similar to me, ambiverted, can be sociable, can be alone. That's the type of girl I kind of dig. Um, yeah. Sometimes the girl, this is an interesting one. Sometimes the girl that you admire and maybe even that you love, she may not be suitable for you. And that's actually a strange situation. The girl you admire a lot, the girl you even love, she actually may not be suitable for you in terms of your life. So, yeah, I can't speak to things like marriage and children because I've not got to that point yet, which I'm very happy about. You know, my life would be nowhere near as good and nowhere near as interesting if I was fucking shacked up with a mortgage somewhere in some boring suburb. Yeah, I wouldn't be out here in Serbia listening to my Serbian trap music. Yeah. So RJ, let me just get to your comments here, bro. So the past month you struggled with women, negative beliefs, worthiness have come back, which you thought you sorted out. Where are you based, RJ? Are you based in the UK? And if so, which part of the UK? You've got less tolerance, yeah. You still fall back into codependency even in your late 30s, you know, deep down that no woman can save me, complete my life in any way. It's like there's two tracks. There's the emotional, there's the logical mind which knows these things, and then the emotional patterns which or they're almost part of a separate entity, you know, in your persona, in yourself. So I think there's a lot of guys who struggle. They're like logically, you know, this, that, and the other, but then emotionally, you do certain things. Emotional dependency in your late 30s. Is there something slightly stunted in your, should we say, psychological development? Did something happen in your teens or something like that kind of stunted your development? Because a lot of these things are just kind of like weird loops people get into because there was a certain thing that was stunted at one point and they haven't realized that now needs to be let go essentially. You're in London. What kind of girls are you going for, RJ? You go for UK based, white, black, Muslim, Jewish, Indian, Latinas. You got the lot in London, it has to be said. You got a lot of girls down there. Yeah, a lot of variety, definitely. Yeah, my favorite place actually for some abuses as a kid. Yeah, so here we go. By your mother or father. We may as well get into it, mate. I mean, I don't know if you've watched my channel, but I've revealed quite a bit of stuff on this channel. You know, over different videos, you can watch it. We may as well get into it. You don't have to go. You don't have to diagnose too many details, but definitely had an impact. Yeah. Was it your mother or father? That's all I want to know. Or both. I don't need to know anything else. All of the above. Oh, in terms of women, you go for all the above. Yeah. So stuff that happens to people in their childhood. I would say this is one. Have you been in therapy for it? Have you sought therapy? Childminder. Wow. Fucking hell. Okay. Have you sought therapy for this? Have you sought out like assistance for it? Yeah, some of my stuff, which is from youth. I mean, I've done about 3 or 4 rounds of different types of therapy and found it. I mean, I've tried different things. You know, there's the standard psychoanalytics, cognitive behavioral. I found a great EFT practitioner who was definitely the best. And yeah, that pretty much sorted me out. And then I think since then, have I done anything? No, and I had a life coach who was amazingly good. My late 20s. I've done so many things. I had another coach as well, Phil Parker, who's helped me with a lot of stuff in terms of future and state control. Um, yeah, brother, I really would recommend this should be your top priority, way above women, above women. That should be your top priority, bruv, above getting women, because those personal issues they're just going to come up again with the girl, and the girl, you know, just let's just sort that out. Um, I would recommend, I honestly would recommend a practice called EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. Get a really good practitioner there. If you need a specific recommendation, I think you can find my email on the channel. Just email me. I'll give you a specific recommendation. Yeah, I mean, I've done so much of this type of thing. For me, it was so obvious that I was like, there's really no choice. It's fucking obvious that I need to address some things. It's obvious, right? Um, so yeah, I feel I've addressed it extremely well. I have to be honest. Um, Stuff that actually someone else may not have ever been able to get through. Men, actually, we've got the ability, the highest predictor of the ability to overcome trauma is testosterone. It's actually a weird predictor. So men have got a much greater ability than women to overcome trauma, which is actually why we need to protect them more. But men, we can actually overcome it because of literally, I don't know what it is in the brain, but it gives us more ability to move forward past the trauma, and we can actually get through it. So yeah, for me, I think there's probably some residual things. But in my situation, like times I can be too overprotective of a woman, but not in a possessive way, just in a protective way. But there's like obviously like it's for a fucking obvious why, yeah. Because I had to protect my fucking mum when I was a kid, like literally a kid, like maybe 13, yeah. So it's obvious. And a lot of people. I'm also an older brother as well to 2 younger siblings. And it's like a lot of people say to me, "You're like an older brother. You're like an uncle figure." And it's kind of like, well, yeah, no, no shit, I am. No shit, I am. Because I was like, I had to protect multiple people from being 12, 13 years old, you know? Uh, and that's a good quality. It's a good quality. It's a noble quality, but it can go too far. And it can actually detract from my own like sense of self. Like, wait, what do I want? It's not just my job to protect everybody else. What do I actually want? I do wonder if that's part of the reason why I kind of have to live alone a little bit, because it's like if I don't, I feel I might be too self-sacrificial in a way. Um, so I have to really push myself to really focus in on, right, what do you actually want, you know? Um, but yeah, that's why this channel, like Wing Bro, it is kind of my character, to be honest. Like it's just innate in me, you know. Older brothers are like that anyway, and then if you make it even way more than an older brother, which is what I was, um, yeah, you have to justify yourself and people please as a survival mechanism. This is classic, innit? So we're getting into it, mate, because this is the real shit. This is the real shit. Um, yeah, a lot of people feel that because there might have been a point in your childhood where you felt you did have to justify yourself. Maybe you felt you had no backup. I can sometimes have a little bit of that, but not too bad. Not too bad, to be honest with you. But I know some people really struggle with that, and it really, I think it's like when you're a kid, you need backup. You need your fucking parents. You need older people to back you up, support you. You're a fucking kid, and if you don't have that, you're kind of desperate to get it, and you almost do anything or say anything to try to get it, and as an adult, that pattern can run. I can see it in people. I can see it clear as day in people, and unfortunately, that's actually a very unattractive quality to women as well. It doesn't make you a bad person, but it's actually a very unattractive quality to women. Very unattractive. Because well, if we hyperanalyze it, it probably suggests that you won't be strong enough to be there for her. That you'll just like, you'll be a pushover. Other men will push you over. Other forces will push her. You know, you won't be there to protect the children, you know, basically. You battle these negative beliefs. Yep. Yeah, instilling positive beliefs is really important. I would recommend EFT, and I would recommend Phil Parker. Phil Parker for instilling beliefs. I've had a few friends go through his program, and one of them in particular, we call him the Iceman. He found it very, very useful, and even Richie found it quite useful as well. I don't know if maybe I pushed him a bit too much into it, but I think he still found it useful. But maybe look him up. One of the things that Phil is great with is actually teaching you how to instill new beliefs, more powerful beliefs. Yeah. You can't believe two things at the same time. So if you believe you're the absolute fucking business, then that's what you believe. You can't believe two things at the same time. Yeah, also action as well. Taking action. Also having fucking some camaraderie. What's your situation socially, RJ? Have you got mates? Are you going out with boys when you go and do some approach and talk to women, or is it all just solo? So yeah, while I'm waiting for an answer there, I'll just mention so I'm in Serbia at the moment. I've done this in the last, since December, in the last 50 days, I've been in Bosnia. I've been in, probably about the last 60 days, 50, 60 days, I've been in Bosnia, Turkey, North Macedonia, and now I'm back in Serbia. So I've been in 4 countries in the last 60 days. But I say 4 countries, the former Yugoslavia, there are similarities. And obviously the language in Bosnia and Serbia is the same language. Even in North Macedonia, there's some similarities as well. But it is 4 different countries, so that's kind of crazy. And I've been approaching everywhere. Approaching in Bosnia, approaching in Turkey, and also North Macedonia as well. Serbia, I kind of ran out of steam this last couple of weeks. I kind of been running out of ammo myself this last couple of weeks. So let's have a look here. Reading Schopenhauer isn't good for your mental health. Have you read Nietzsche, bruv? Nietzsche is a disciple of Schopenhauer, but he's completely diametric. Yeah, Schopenhauer, mate, is the worst possible person to be fucking reading. Nietzsche's way, way better. He takes Schopenhauer's philosophy and essentially flips it on his head, and he completely breaks with Schopenhauer, totally breaks, and actually says, this guy, he's basically trash. Nietzsche's the one, bruv. Nietzsche's the one. Nietzsche's a philosopher for the next 300 years. Yeah, fair enough. If you feel burnt out, then yeah, you need to recover from that. One thing I'm going to say, I was just about to say there, is I got to the end of so I got back into Serbia, and I must have done this year, fuck knows, since September, I must have done at least 20 sessions solo. And for me, going out solo is like literally 10 times harder than going out with friends. I've been doing it to push myself to do it. But at a certain point, it's like, it's just unpleasant. But the reason I've been doing it this year is like basically I want to be able to train guys. And so I'm going into all these difficult territories like Bosnia, right? You can imagine Turkey, North Macedonia. These are not easy places to approach. They're fucking difficult to approach. And I'm going in and I'm like, I'm having to, even at the level I've got to of experience, I'm having to pull myself in to a session, push myself through a session, and pull myself all the way through. So now I know exactly what to do with, let's say, a beginner guy. I know exactly how to get them into a session. I know how to push them through a session and get them through. Let's say in a normal territory like the UK or wherever, America, I know I could get them through because I've gone to the absolute fucking extreme of, frankly, difficulty solo. I've barely approached in the UK. I mean, when I go to the UK, it's just honestly, it's just a complete pile of piss. I'm just like, there's no competition. I will just bully everyone on the whole fucking street because I've been doing in such difficult circumstances. But having said that, I am only a fucking human being. I felt like the last couple of weeks, I'm exhausted, man. I'm working 6 days a week. I'm out of fucking ammo. And I go out on a Saturday and I'm like, my conscious mind wants to approach, but I get out and I'm like, oh, God, really? This is what you want to do on your day off? Really? Go up to these moody Slavic girls in the mall, break them out of the mood, approach them, and then the connection is not really there at the moment either. So yeah, I'm kind of like taking a break. I'm gonna head to a non-disclosed location to meet some of my friends in a couple of weeks' time, which I'll be logging in from. And actually, no, not even in a week's time. In a week's time, I'll be there. So I'm looking forward to that. And I just want to link up with some boys, like have a normal life again. Stop doing cold approach in like fucking Bosnia, you know. Yeah, you always. Yeah, okay, let's have a look here. You know, with Zarathustra, my honest opinion is that's Nietzsche's worst book in terms of because he's a shit prose writer. He can't write prose to save his fucking life, in my opinion. People rave about that book. His prose is appalling. What Nietzsche's amazing with is aphorisms. I'm not going to go into a Nietzsche thing here, but his aphorisms are just ridiculous, ridiculous. Genealogy of Morals, that's the one to start with for Nietzsche. Zarathustra is the hardest one, and it's the most confusing, and it's quite odd. But yeah, Genealogy of Morals you can read in an afternoon, and it'll probably change your life, genuinely. It will change your entire vision of everything. You basically can't go back after that book, but in a very positive way. Genealogy of Morals. You'll feel more confident speaking to women outside of the UK. Yeah, I think there's a lot of that. London's pretty stalemate, to be honest. I just, maybe try some other cities. I do think the UK is okay though. The UK is okay. Honestly, the competition is non-existent, mate. British men are just like, yeah, the competition is non-existent in the UK. In terms of daytime approach. Yeah, it shows you've got character and can commit things even if you don't feel like it. Yeah, I actually don't agree with that with approach. This is the problem that we have as men who do approach. I'm part of a group called the Entourage, which is Christian Casanova's group, and it's all very driven, high achieving guys who are very solo, self-orientated guys. And we push ourselves insanely into doing approach, but you will hit a wall. You will hit a wall. It's not like the gym. Your socializing is not like the gym. It's not like going to work. It's not like business. It's social, right? If you're not having fun, it's actually to completely counterproductive. It's something I'm trying to shift in the game, to be honest, which is it should not be a grind. It should not be work. If it's a grind, you're doing it wrong. The only time it should be a grind is like the first, let's say the first 3 months. You want to make it as easy as possible and as fun as possible as soon as possible. And that means going out with wings, going out with mates, and just having an absolute fucking explosive blast. And that way, who would you want to be approached by? A sullen girl who was gritting her teeth, like, oh yeah, God, I've got to get this guy. Or like a girl, like some fucking chick like just rollerblading past, having fun, like just having a complete blast. You'd want that girl, right? So this idea of discipline, I'm trying to drill this out of guys in the entourage because it is counterproductive. It's counterproductive. Um, you cannot force yourself to feel social. You cannot force yourself to um, feel motivated to speak to women. I mean, you can force yourself, but that is not sustainable, I suppose, is what I'm saying. Like, I've done it, I think, with these different countries. When I naturally get in, I do naturally have a bounce when I first get in where I actually want to approach for a few weeks. And I push myself through a lot of sessions that I would not normally have done just because I'm wanting to train people. But at a certain point, no, you've got to enjoy it. You've got to make it enjoyable. And this is where group fun comes in and group behavior comes in. People are doing it the wrong way around. The reason I can talk about this with total authority is I've been with groups where there's 3 or 4 of us and we will just take over any club, any bar, we'll take over the whole thing. And everyone pretty much pulls or gets numbers and stuff without even trying. It's so easy because we're having fun and we're taking over and we're in a group. Compare that to being solo, like in fucking, Turkey going around. Like, yeah, you can do it, but it's fucking unpleasant and it just like it's fundamentally abnormal behavior to begin with. So like you can normalize it and you can do it for a while, but in your diet of approach, I think you should have at least 50%. I would say 80% of your approach should be done with mates, I would say. And then like the girls you approach solo, that should be just like on the way home after work or something. But most of the time it should be with mates. And this is the issue. Guys are individualistic and so on, and they don't build proper social circles. And this is the issue, man. This is the issue. So yeah, you can have discipline to a point, and like I'm talking to myself as well. I know this stuff, but it's like, what else do I do? I'm in Bosnia. I don't have any fucking wingman in Bosnia. Well, I do now, because I've got SB now. But when I got there, I didn't have any wingmen, so I was like, well, I've got to do it alone. It's got to be done alone. But yeah, that really is for the first few months. It's a bit like in the mafia where you've got to get your bones. You've got to go kill someone. Like you got to go, and it's like a hazing, right? You've got to go and get your bones for the first 3 months. Push yourself through, get some training, and push yourself through. But after that, you're not going to sustain it. You're not going to sustain it unless it's fun, and that does entail at least sometimes being out with mates. I think the more fun you're having, it's so much more magnetic. Actually, I really do think like the whole space is a little bit fucked, to be honest, to be truthful. So yeah, this is my angle on it. It just like, why make your life more difficult than it needs to be? So much more fun needs to be had. And you look at guys who do well, Cuban guys, Brazilian guys, Italian guys, Dominican guys, they just have fun. They have fun, right? So this is the thing that Anglos, we can struggle with. We're too fucking serious. We're too driven. So that's the, yeah, you've got to be careful with that. You've got to be careful with that because you can burn yourself out. And I'm burnt at the moment. And I know why. It's just like, dude, you're not fucking superhuman. Just like go hang out with your mates, go and do some approach with your mates, go and pie with your mates, So that's a bit of a rant, but it's not. I'm not ranting at you. I'm just. It was a good opportunity to expand on a thought there in terms of approach. So yeah, RJ, I would really recommend like if you have got good wings, yeah, connect up with them again. Yeah, I mean, I'm not in London, but yeah, I'm offering a remote wingmanship service. I don't know if that would be, I don't know if that's really what you want. It sounds like you've already done a lot of my service. Is my wing bro is basically to get guys who've never done approach in terms of daytime, is to basically get them up and running for a month, and I can get you up and running in a month, every Saturday basically, for a month. And people who are frustrated, they're pulling their shots, they don't really know what to do. How it works is I'll take someone through on a Friday night. We'll go through everything. it's very easy actually, the approach. Then on Saturday you're straight out, and every approach you're reporting back into me, and I basically just give you tasks and you report back into me. So that's Wing Bro, and it's basically every Saturday. The goal for a month is to go and do 10 approaches with feedback, and you get iteration as well. Because even remotely, I've been trialing it in the Entourage. Even remotely, I can actually get people good remotely. So that's one service, and then there's also Wing Bro Immersion, that's a different thing. That's where we do that full month of virtual, and then we do an immersion as well. So yeah, so it's early days with that at the moment. I've got one sign up at the moment, and I've got also people doing it on trial at the moment as well, who are essentially friends who are trialing it at the moment and finding it really useful. Some people it's like when they're down and out on a session, it's like, just call me. What do I do? Okay, do this. Bang, bang, bang. And then they're flying. You find daytime approach easier than nighttime. Yeah. I'm starting to feel the same. Because I like to dance. I've always got salsa and bachata to go to and kizomba. So that's my preference. But in terms of like a raving club, fuck that. I can't be arsed with that. Yeah, daytime's good. Daytime's sweet. Yeah. It's pretty easy, to be honest with you. It's pretty easy daytime. The actual technique is minimal. There's kind of two ways to do it. There's the Christian Casanova school that we do is like, it's pretty balls to the wall, actually. I also think that type of approach, I do think it's better to do that with people around, with friends around. There's another type, which is, should we say, that's more the mystery type of approach, or maybe you could say John Anthony's type of approach, which is like quite low key, just getting, should we say, like a low level of compliance. It's technically a compliance ladder if you want to be a complete nerd about it, and then just getting a minor level of detail and making a plan with the girl. It's kind of like that type of approach is kind of an approach where it's hard for the girl to say no at each juncture, because it's kind of like, oh yeah, why not? And then you move forward from there. Whereas the Casanova model is just balls to the fucking wall, full pirate mode from the beginning. It's like, I dare you to reject me, which is an amazing. I prefer that model, but I don't know. Sometimes when you don't have, like just being a bit more chill and even like a little bit semi indirect. I've been doing that sometimes in the Balkans as well, where it's like there's almost a suspicion sometimes with guys, like in the daytime. Not always. It can go in all sorts of fucking directions. But yeah, I would say those are the two. If we're talking models, like subtle or semi-indirect, and then just balls to the wall. And I think if you're going to go this balls to the wall route, you need to be with mates, man. Ideally. At the end of the day, if you get the main thing is getting a girl, meeting a girl you like, talking to her, and getting her number. I can fucking put all these technical things on it. That's all it really fucking is. Meet a girl you like, chat, get her number. There we go. Move forward. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have my but yeah, feel free to email me, RJ. I can certainly give you those therapy, should we say, tips that I mentioned. I can certainly give you those if you are looking for something like to actually really get you up and running on it. That's going to require, I won't even say coaching. I would say more like a virtual wing and a kind of professional wing. That's also a service I'm doing, but don't even worry about that. Like I can send you through stuff just regardless, just because I know you've been on quite a few of my lives. We've talked quite a bit. Yeah, Christian, someone I respect a lot. He began his Call Approach journey in Leeds during COVID, small city centre, quiet. I mean, the guy was inspired. I think he just had like a stroke of inspiration. I really do. Like, I think he was basically chosen, to be honest. I actually do. Um, Someone who's got that background in magic, which Mystery originally had. Someone who has the ability to empathize because he did struggle when he was younger. And um, yeah, someone also a very good age where you're looking for like what's my path in life, and because he was quite young when he started, and he realized he actually would be able to do this and become a coach at a young age, of cold approach, and it's just like everything came together. It's like this guy was fucking chosen, and I do think he's fundamentally changed the game. Christian, I don't know if he knows this yet. Christian, if you watch this, brother, I do think you've changed the game forever, because it's just like even even like me, who was like quite good at the nighttime, there was still a bit of posing going on. There was still a bit of tactics going on. Not always, but that was a little bit there. With this this new approach, it's just kind of totally balls to the fucking wall, which I've adopted, and yeah, the boys in the entourage have adopted. And I think he's affected people. I actually think probably people he's never met will have been affected, probably maybe even more than the guys who joined the entourage, because the entourage is very expensive now to join, as it should be, because you've got a lot of caliber in there. I mean, you've got Christian himself, who's got more daytime approach than anybody else on the entire internet. He's the main, obviously, coach running it. You've also got a guy called Ephraim, who's got his own channel called Paul University, who's got shitloads of footage on there. He's a young guy in America. He's fucking tremendous. You've got Senator Winner, who is he's actually got a mental health channel, but he's a fucking monster of approach. I mean, he's so good. It's like I mean, it's a joke. You've got other guys in there who are private, who are quite good. You've got myself as well, who like I'm definitely a veteran of all forms of approach, day, night. Definitely a veteran of the scene, you know, of women and whatever, the fucking harem days and all that type of shit. So I can offer perspectives in there. So anyone who actually gets in, you're getting like 3 to 4. You're getting 3 coaches basically, like minimum. No, you're getting like 10 coaches basically. Yeah, he sings from his own hymn sheet. Yeah, he does. He does. I mean, I've known Christian now for nearly 2 years, coming up to 2 years. Yeah, more or less 2 years now. We first got in contact, and just seeing his business go from strength to strength has been tremendous, and seeing the entourage become what it's become now, which is like fucking insane, to be honest with you. So yeah, I can't really praise the guy enough. And there's many guys in there as well that are like that no one will ever see or know because they're private guys who are just fucking tremendous. And there's people coming in at all levels. There's some people with real like mental issues, people with self-esteem issues. Then there's guys who are like literally bulletproof. And then there's just normal guys. But the commonality is that everyone is there approaching and everyone is improving. It's really a tremendous it's a tremendous group to be in. But I got in early, which is I got in a couple of years ago. But in all honesty, I am part of the offer, as is, you know, probably there's 4 or 5 guys in there who they are kind of part of the offer, you know, and that's fine because we get a lot of benefit from being there. Yeah, it's a really cool group, man. It's a really cool group, and we're meeting up in a week's time as well. It's gonna be fucking mayhem. You'll see that on this channel. You'll see that on Ephraim's. You'll see it on Christian's. You'll see us all in there, mate. It will be fucking mental. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Cannot wait. So many assassins, man, in the group, and just to like hang out with mates as well who are like who want to do approach. Like it's gonna be so fucking cool. I've done so much alone this year. Today I felt again, I was out in the moor. I felt really alone today. It's weird because I travel solo and I don't feel alone traveling solo. I really don't. I love it. But when it comes to like, oh God, I want to go out and do a solo cold approach session in this mall in Serbia, I felt alone this last couple of weeks. I think it's like my psyche is just like, bro, are you kidding me? Like I've got you through Serbia the last time for 2 months, and we did well. I've got you through Bosnia. I've got you through fucking Turkey and North Macedonia. Now you still want me to keep going, and Brazil and Dominican Republic and the UK, London, Manchester. And my psyche's just going, really? You want me to keep doing this? Really? Yeah, like seriously, you know? That's how I felt this last couple of weeks, and it's like having some mates will just yeah bring them more joy into it. I would be surprised if you saved some of the lives of guys who watch the channel and might never even met him. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised either. I've heard that about RSD, and I know like people take issue with it because obviously they've done some quite fraudulent stuff. A lot of those girls were actresses, which they didn't disclose. They're not actually particularly that good, I don't think, really with women. A lot of what they were saying was bullshit. Obviously, John Anthony's hammered them, somewhat justifiably. He's obviously fucking extreme himself, but he certainly knows what he's doing. But I know for a fact RSD, probably they've helped guys who didn't work with them a lot more than guys who have worked with them, actually. I know for a fact some people have said RSD just gave them a beacon of hope, you know, and I think that is something as well. Yeah. Yeah, it's a crazy, and this is one of the things I actually said to Christian about a month ago with like, you know, because I feel like called to do some coaching in this space. I don't know how far I'm gonna go with it, but I really want to try it. Like, I mean, I'm doing it already, but like, let's say for a couple of years, you know, giving it. I've got my business already, so I don't need to do it full time. But like, let's get some guys through. I know I can get some guys through. One of the things I said to Christian a couple of weeks ago, or maybe about a month ago, was like, people were disclosing things to me, and I'm like, man, I didn't realize what an underbelly of pain existed in this space. I thought it was just guys who wanted to get some more ass, like me. Guys who want to just go and approach in the day because it's like, why not, man? This will be wicked. I didn't realize there's people like suffering with like serious fucking pain. I actually didn't realize that. And if you're going to coach, that's something you need to contend with. Are you going to handle that? Or are you, you know, I think what I would do is say to people like, look, there's a limit to what I can basically do with you. I can't pull you out of a deep fucking depression. I can give you resources that I've used myself that have helped me to navigate things. I can basically say, when you're ready to do something, let's go do something. We can get it fucking cracking. I would disagree that Owen Cook gets women. I don't think he gets women at all, mate. He comes across as, I honestly think John Anthony's assessment on him is spot on. I think he comes across as gay, to be honest with you. He's done a lot of weird shit, like where he gets down on his knees and pretends to suck a cock and stuff like that. It's really weird behavior. He's extremely charismatic and he's smart. And I'm sure he's got some women, don't get me wrong. If you're going out, like law of averages, but some of the things I've heard him say over the years really makes me think, nah, I don't really agree, to be honest. Yeah, a lot of that footage as well. Some of it was with models, bruv. Some of it was with models, you know. I don't know. It's not just John who's talked about that. There's other people who've talked about it, and yeah, I'm sure he'll get some. It's fucking America, John. It's not going to be difficult. He's not like, but I honestly think you don't know who's in the entourage, but I think me and the guys in the entourage would apart from John, I think we would run through all of those guys in RSD, no problem at all. I think if they came out with us, they would not be able to live with us, not at all. Because I've seen it face to face. It's not on the screen. I've seen it in real life. Yeah, and no one's using actresses, you know. But at the same time, I can see why they do use actresses, to be honest, because I've thought about it. Like, most of Approach is quite a shit show. Most of Approach is really just a total shit show. Like, you like run across. Like, I remember one approach I did in Manchester. I ran after a girl, banged straight, smacked into a lamppost. Fortunately, didn't hit my head, but like banged my body into a lamppost, stopped her, and then chatted her up. And she was from Portugal. Chatted her up, but closed her. And like the boys, like Christian and this other guy were behind, just like they were just like, what the fuck? This guy's determined, man. This was on my own immersion, but it's like that is a total shit show of an approach. The number of girls I've run after, and it's just like a total shit show basically, and that happens on an almost constant basis. And like, or just it's a short approach, or it's a weird angle, or like nothing really happens, or it's quite awkward, whatever. But you get through it, and then you take the girl on a date or whatever. A lot of that stuff like would not be great footage, And then I've seen him. I saw this guy. What's he called? Coach Kyle. He's got one where he does a great video. It's got like 1 million views. I was like, man, he's obviously used a model, but it's a great video, and it almost shows how approach could go in a perfect world. In a way, it probably will never go like that, but it makes for a good video. And I can see why they do it like that, because actually it makes for better viewing, maybe even makes for better teaching, arguably. Arguably, I don't know. But yeah, because I've gone out and I thought, how the fuck would I even if I don't have a cameraman with me, but even if I did, how the fuck would this look good? How would this be teachable, He could be a cult leader, yeah. I mean, yeah, they were talking about like the guy charges 20 grand for an immersion, which is like a group immersion, 20 grand. And the guys are not even getting laid who are going on it. So I think, yeah, in terms of content and inspiration, wonderful, brilliant, inspire away, yeah. But if someone's, bro, for 20 grand, if you pay me 20 grand, mate, fuck me. Honestly, my ambition, and I know I would be able to succeed. I think I could be getting you into threesomes for that amount of money without too much difficulty. I would fly to your fucking city, and we would fucking hammer it to death. Yeah, and I would get you everything. I'm not saying you personally, RJ, but someone pay me that type of money. That's a lot of fucking money for someone to put down. They should be a minimum getting laid. The problem should be sorted forever. Yeah. But obviously he's built a good brand, etc., etc. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, my business, I have a separate business there's an element of expertise required on my behalf, and the expertise I actually do have, like I can certainly deliver on what I am supposed to deliver on. I find it crazy that people charge a lot of money for something they fundamentally can't deliver on. Yeah, it's a lot, mate. It's a lot. It's a lot, mate. It's a lot. And then, yeah, and guys, once you spend that much money, you've got to psychologically almost justify it in your mind of why that was good investment. But it's like, bro, you didn't get laid. You're not getting laid, bro. You weren't getting laid before. You're not getting laid now. You didn't have a girlfriend before. You don't have a girlfriend now. What the fuck, dude? Yeah, it's mad, dude. It's mad. Exactly. This is what I'm saying. Guys you just said that be what you're saving on. Guys are putting their life savings on this. Because something that hits close to home, your personal life, your sexual life, what hits closer to home than that? Fortunately for me, I always thought, I was always a bit skeptical with those guys, and I never really needed it, to be honest. It was about 2012, 2013, I think. I was recovering from an operation and I watched RSD for a while. And I always remember thinking, something's a bit off here. Something's a bit off. He's very much like a cult leader. Yeah. So yeah, that's why Christian is you can see Christian in field, right? You can see Ephraim in field. There's a bit of infield on my channel, but not enough. There's gonna be more. I'm not, but I'm not even in the space barely. At the moment I'm just chatting, to people on lives and stuff. I'm not even anywhere near the space. These guys they're charging big money for this stuff. They've got the big rep. And there's I don't know how many real lives of Owen there actually are. Like I don't know how many of them are actually. He does have some that you can see, but they're mostly drunk girls. There's some of the stuff he's done that I've seen. Yeah, that's just fucking fake. Obviously fake. Yeah. Weird, man. Weird. It's a weird space in the sense that it's been led by some of the worst people. You would do better to go and hang around with some cool guys who you knew got pussy. You'd be better to go and hang out with them somehow, however you could manage it. You'd be better to go and hang with guys like that for a year. That would get you better than, I would say, 90% of the coaches out there. Yeah, osmosis, man, is the big one. Also having the right mindsets as well. Just pure narcissism, pure arrogant narcissism is very important. This is one of the things I don't like with this new generation of guys, and it's actually something that does happen in the entourage a little bit, but that's all right. I'm not critiquing people. It's just a general pattern is everyone talks about all their fucking insecurities and all this type of thing, and I'm like, I actually don't want to hear it. Go to your psychotherapist for that. I actually don't want to hear it, because what that does is that spreads. And I found myself at times, I've got a doubt in my mind that I didn't even have, but I've heard it from someone else. And now it's fucking spread into my mind. So that's why you want to surround yourself with beasts, with arrogant fucks. And yeah, I think like if people shouldn't fetishize their insecurities and things of that nature. Like, it's okay to share them in certain contexts, but I think I personally think if you share an insecurity, you should basically be sharing your solution to it as well, for the most part, or like with an actual coach or something like that. This fetishization of sharing all your fears and stuff like that, I'm not big on it, to be honest. I just feel like, yeah, sort it out, yeah, just handle it. As one of my great wings just said, mate, I wasn't insecure about anything. I just had two girls in the same club, and I just said, what do I do? And he just goes, just handle it. There you go. That's all the advice I needed. Just handle it, Right, let's go make a cup of tea. And I'm going to put a bit of Slavic trap music on. Yeah, you can say it's greed. I mean, the guy's he's got to get paid, hasn't he? He's got to get paid. He doesn't have anything else at this point. I think he tried to pivot into self-improvement, but I don't think he's got the kudos in that space. So he's got to get paid, hasn't he? I thought you said, okay, agreed, yeah. Yeah. So, but it's funny though, because I'm reflecting back on this year at the moment, and I go, I kind of go more like August to August in terms of year, just because of like work and stuff, and so I'm kind of reflecting on this year, and I'm like, wow, I'm kind of halfway through, and I've done a lot, man. I've done a lot, and actually, in terms of women, I'd almost decided to take a vow of chastity, believe it or not, this year, because I was like, I want to have a spiritual year. So when I moved to Serbia, I live in 20 meters away from the cathedral, which is where I am right now. And my spiritual enlightenment didn't really last that long. It lasted about until the first day I went out and saw all the Serbian girls. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'll do a little bit of approach. Maybe I'll chat to a few babes. Merengue. No, you know what? I'm in this really interesting phase at the moment. So yeah, I'm a Latin guy, big time Latin guy. But at the moment, I'm in the Slavic world, and when I'm in a place, I like to try and give it a chance, give the culture a chance. So I've been listening to this Slavic Orthodox music, like spiritual music, but they put it to like trap. This is what I'll put it on for a second now. The video's got like an Orthodox priest just like chilling there. But yeah, most of my music is there's the Latin vibe. I feel like you kind of need to have some girls around though. Do you know what I mean? To have the salsa and merengue and bachata, they're all partner dances. I mean, I do sometimes have a little whirl around my apartment solo, you know, but um, yeah, I'm listening at the moment to a lot of Orthodox like music. Actually, a lot of Russian war songs as well. Believe it or not, they're really good. Like Russian acoustic music is fucking good. Um, I feel like Russian culture is actually very deep. Now, this is what I'm learning. I've got a few Russian friends out here in Belgrade. Quite depressing in a way, but quite deep. Like really quite deep. Um, the music is similar, you know. So yeah, hopefully when it all fucking winds down, be able to make a visit. That would be cool. Um, you won't be ordained by the Serbian Orthodox Church, yeah. It's it's one of these things like Christianity is kind of like I get it. It's a good religion. It certainly unifies Serbia and the Balkans in general, and I like it a lot. So um, it's kind of hard. I do consider myself an Orthodox Christian, to be honest, in terms of, should we say, identity. So that's kind of what I am. But if I'm also being truthful, I would love to go into a cathedral that was dedicated to like Zeus and Hera and those types of ascendant Nietzschean gods. I'd love that, but that doesn't exist anymore. Um, so there's a different morality. You know, the Christian morality is a very different one, which I think it's a good morality as well in of itself. But I got when I went to the Parthenon and stuff like this in Athens, man, holy shit, I got crazy fucking chills. But like, there's no communal worship there, is there? Do you know what I mean? Just be some lone weirdo worshipping Zeus. I think there's a lot in that. Yeah, that's kind of like, I mean, we're going deep here, but that's kind of like the spirit of Western Europe or of Europe in general is Christianity on one hand and like the peace and the love and everything, and then those ascendant Greco-Roman gods that were all about like, empowerment and like the fight and uh the romance and the passion, and the double crossing each other on a constant basis, you know, that ethic I think is tremendous as well. So Europe is this weird blend of those two things. It's really interesting. Um, yeah, yeah. The sample goes with the beat. Yeah, it's a good sample. It's a good sample. I like it. Um, yeah, I've got a lot of time for orthodoxy. I really do. Um, and it's strong here. It's strong. It's not going anywhere. Serbia, I expect. I hope they don't join the EU. Sincerely, I don't think they will. I don't know what the thing is. You never know these days. You know, with like US aid and stuff like that. EU aid, they're probably trying to fuck Serbia as well. The UK have got a DEI office here. Like, the fuck, you've got a DEI office in Serbia for? 1.5 mil. The US had one, but it's been closed down now. So like, foreign entities trying to fuck with the place, but I think they've got a hold of it. It's it's a good country as long as it doesn't join the EU, it will stay the same, which is great for the next 50 years. It will slowly progress. But it's a great place. Macedonia is the same. Um, yeah, Bosnia is more unpredictable. Bosnia, I wouldn't be surprised if it partitions. Demon City, yeah, extremely violent but great cinematography and music. I might check it out, dude. I might check it out. It's on Netflix. Japanese are fucking cool as well, man. The Japanese are cool as well. That's probably for me the part of Asia I'm most interested in because of their warrior heritage. The fucking samurai, man. That culture is crazy. The samurai are actually descendants of Europeans, which is mad. Samurai have got European blood from the Ukraine, yeah, as well as Asian, obviously. Um, Yeah, that there's one group from the Ukraine which spread across the entirety of Eurasia all the way to Japan and as far west as Ireland, which is fucking crazy. Yeah, the Yamnaya people. I'm a bit of a nerd about some of these things, man, but yeah. I'm 39 years old, so like as you get older, you just accumulate all of this reading over the years. You know, you just accumulate it. Um, yeah, Demon City. I'll maybe watch that after this. Actually, I've just got to get packed up actually fairly soon. I've got yeah, I've got the meet next. I'm gonna be leaving Serbia on Friday. And yeah, just getting ready, basically getting ready for the meet with the boys. It's gonna take a couple of days off work. Not too much, but a couple of days off is fine. And yeah. Anyway, so that was my take today on girlfriends, girlfriends and wives. I think no compromise. You know, don't fucking compromise your life, man. But yeah, RJ, if you do want to email me, I think you should be able to find it on. You should be able to find my email on the channel. Happy to give you a few recommendations, mate, because you've been to quite a lot of lives. It's always good to have you on, and yeah, I think the burnout is probably affecting a few different people at the moment. To be honest, I do think it's probably affecting a few different people. It's fucking, you know what I mean? We just get to the end of February, like, fuck me. I was out today, it's like raining and stuff like this, like, you know. The only place where you can approach truly year round is in the tropics. The tropics you can approach year fucking round. And actually, you've got to be careful as well. You don't want to become an approach artist. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to become a pickup artist at all. But you definitely don't want to become an approach artist. You want to be a seducer, you know, actually running through the girls, you know. So, or just having a girlfriend, you know. So yeah, I will leave things there. RJ, it was great to chat, mate. Thanks very much for joining. As I say, if you want to contact, I can give you those recommendations. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, brother. And maybe I'll catch you around. I'm trying to do at least one live per week. I managed. This is my second one this week, so that's not too bad. And I've also got a series of emails coming out as well. It's going to be I don't know how long it's going to be. It's going to be minimum 10 emails, and it's going to be some real down and dirty stuff, which I think you'll find useful. I think anyone who gets onto them will find them useful. So that's going to be out. That's going to be linked on the channel. I don't know when that'll get done. I've written about 10 of them out on paper, and I just wrote the first one up on my laptop. I don't know whether to go with MailChimp or there's a British company that I found, but they're based in Shoreditch, and I was like, man, they look quite fucking woke, and I'm going into like sexual domination and shit like this. I'm like, they probably kick me off, so we'll see. Yeah, in terms of which company I'll go with, but that'll be available like yeah, I don't know, whenever it is. Who fucking knows? But at some point, when I get it all done, which I think will be really useful for people. So yeah. We'll leave things there. Take it easy. Laku noc. Josefsky. Over and out.